Good morning. Hey, Alex. Hi, Miss Burnett.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Did you watch the movie last night?
Yes, it was good.
And
It
now,
was
did you
good.
hear on the news this morning, the man down in one of those southern states that killed his wife and son, they found him guilty?
Oh, yeah. Gave him life in prison.
Yeah. Well, I didn't hear the verdict. I didn't hear the sentence.
I just saw it on TV. Yep, he was sentenced to life in prison. The murderer, his name is Murder, I believe. Yes. They said he messed himself up when he took the witness stand and admitted that he lied and he stole all that money from that law firm. So I guess he just took his own fate in his hands and he paid for it. He's paying for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna walk away for a minute.
Good morning.
Okay. Good morning. Hi, Denise.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hi.
Sorry about the meeting. I'm not sure why it ended it. So hopefully those folks that you saw will come back in.
Yeah, I tried the first time and it did that to me. It ended it.
I guess Zoom is having a bad day.
Yeah.
He's upset
Close
about
the
the case.
Oh, wow. Very good movie. That was a good movie last night.
Oh, it was. I was at the library yesterday, and then I got home around the time when it started or so. So I hope it was good.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. It was good.
It was good. And then it made me so sad because I lived in a little small town in Georgia. And I lived some of those and it brought back a lot of memories, sad memories. But
Yeah.
even though I lived through that, I'm not prejudiced. I don't hold those grudges against people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It
Right.
just brought back
Yeah.
a lot of unpleasant memories, things that I saw in the Ku Klux Klan and how we have to run from them and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But after I left Georgia, I kind of left those memories back there.
Yeah. I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because I never seen it before.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
And I was like, let me see. I know I heard of it, but I didn't never, watch it.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched it either.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was that good. I think it was in the movies. I'm not sure.
Yes, it was. It was. I think that's when how they would bring the trailers on and let you see a little bit of it. I think
Yeah.
that's when I knew what the storyline was.
Oh, right. Yeah, because Jamie Foxx, he be playing some pretty good movies.
Yeah.
He played one too called Held Up. It was in the grocery store, and the people were shopping or something, and somebody came in there to rob the grocery store. Yeah, I think he was in that one called Held Up. That's pretty good.
I tell you, Denise, a good one if you like thrillers. Now, it's no blood and guts or nothing like that, and it's just a mind thriller called Passengers.
Passengers.
And I thought I could figure it out every 5 minutes. You guess when I figured it out? The last 5 minutes of the movie.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, it kept taking your mind around and around, but I enjoyed that. It was a good movie.
What is on Netflix?
Good morning.
Actually, on Tubi or
Tubi.
YouTube, one of them, because I
love
don't.
that Tubi.
The other one. Yes, free movie that I watched.
Right.
It's called Passengers. That's all that the title is.
Oh, okay.
I think
What about this movie Megan? I think it's on it was in the movies recently. I think it's on Netflix. About the doll baby. Yeah, it's a horror movie.
It's a
the
horror
doll
movie.
baby. And it's
I
called
don't
Megan.
movies. I'd be scared. I watch them.
I don't,
I live by
You
myself.
do?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I watch no horror movies.
uh-huh. I
I-
know what you mean.
Even when the children were growing up, I still didn't watch it. But Chucky and stuff like that, and The Exorcist,
Yeah.
I never watched those movies. I was just too nervous to watch them.
I feel you. I feel you. I
Good
like
morning,
horror movies.
everybody.
Good
morning,
morning,
Diane.
Brenda. I mean, Diane.
I'm sorry if I upset anybody yesterday.
Mhm.
No, I agree with you, Diane, to a great extent. You know, like I was telling them, once I came out of the deep South where I lived with what you all saw, I don't hold grudges either. I'm not prejudiced in that sense. It's just, it brings back unhappy memories,
Right,
but
Yeah.
I don't blame it
Yeah.
because I have a white sister.
Uh-huh.
right,
Finest people you want to ever know. She
Right.
does
Yeah.
more for me than my black sisters will.
Uh-huh.
right.
That's
I,
true.
I have three of them. And I mean, they are part of my world.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
And my father used to date a white lady, and she was very nice.
And my
But-
grandfather was half white. So I can't
But
be
sometimes,
prejudiced against myself.
sometimes she get on that other side, like
That's
she
right.
just love my dad, but she
Mhm.
was nice in so many other ways, you know.
Mhm. That's right.
It
And
was
she gave
my,
me this, and you know, she gave me this dish. Well, it's a dish she used to fix, and
Uh-huh.
it was
Right.
a meatloaf, and it was sauce. She made a sauce to the meatloaf,
Mhm.
but the meatloaf she put nutmeg in it, and Petra's Farm breadcrumbs, and I think it was Philadelphia cream cheese.
right.
No, cream of mushroom soup.
Yes.
And them the only three ingredients she put in there.
Uh-huh.
And then she make her sauce. She'll use the other half of the cream of mushroom soup, and
Mhm.
she used sour cream, and she used the Philadelphia cream cheese,
Okay.
and she put nutmeg in it, and
Now,
warm it up on the stove.
Now,
And she
in my
put
meatloaf, excuse me for talking over you. I didn't
Let-
mean to do that.
Right.
uh-huh.
In my meatloaf, I put nutmeg, onion soup mix, dry onion soup mix,
Okay.
a little pepper,
Uh-huh.
egg, and eggs. I put eggs in it, a little
Yeah.
milk, not in your
Uh-huh.
just and breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
You can have
Okay.
the seasoned breadcrumbs or the plain ones if you want to. And that's about all I put in mine too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you do use the nutmeg too.
Yeah, I used to cook in the
Uh-huh.
kitchen in Buffalo. I was telling you when I was in Buffalo, I cooked in the House of Prayer kitchen in Buffalo. And I made
Oh.
meatloaf, the baked meats, all of the sweets and stuff like that. So,
Oh.
you learn ways to,
Yeah,
salad,
you do. You do
kind of
great.
put different things on.
And then people probably say you put nutmeg in your meatloaf, but it gives it a different taste.
You know what?
Oh, okay.
Once somebody asked me, they didn't know. They said, "What did you do to that meatloaf? You put your foot in it?" I said, "No, no." I said, "No,
Oh.
egg."
Mm-hmm. I know, right? It'd be so delicious.
And it does.
But
It gives it a different taste.
Yeah, and when she made
Mhm.
that sauce to put on top of it,
Mhm.
oh, it tasted so good.
Now I like the baked chicken with the cream of mushroom soup.
Oh, my dad
Oh,
loved
me too.
Yes,
Yeah, my
cream of
dad
chicken,
loved
cream of
chicken,
mushroom.
chicken
Well,
like that.
well, have you ever tried fried the chicken, put the cream of mushroom soup over, and then put it in the oven, and the cream of mushroom soup become the gravy with mashed potatoes and either string beans, broccoli, or anything else that's green?
Sounds good. But guess what, Diane? I cannot fry hardly anything. I
Oh,
can
okay.
up on it with the fried chicken, fish, like it comes out the same way every time. Not me. I never could. I don't know why.
Oh,
I couldn't
okay.
fry those two things.
Good morning, ladies.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Teresa.
Good morning.
Teresa.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Teresa. Thank
How's
you
everyone
for that
today?
lovely movie last night.
Good.
I
Fine,
really
thank you.
appreciated it.
You really appreciate what?
I
And
really appreciated that movie.
oh,
It took me back to some stuff that went on in my father's family, and I kind of went to heart, and so maybe I was a little abrupt and I apologize, but sometimes I get really wound up about the Ku Klux Klan. So,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
and I'm sorry if I hurt anybody's feelings, but I have feelings about it. And when you are the victim of people murdering people, it
Mhm.
kind of sticks to you.
I
But
understand.
anyhow, and I
It-
want to thank you for being so patient with us and for showing us a lot of different things that are influencing our lives and
Mhm.
helping us to learn a lot of different stuff,
Yeah.
especially with this iPad. It has brought me. I mean, I've gotten a lot of people that I consider friends that I feel like I've known them for years, and I can say anything and talk to them about anything. So and value their opinions. So I just want to thank you very much. I think you're a wonderful person, and God has definitely blessed you with a talent to help other people.
Well, thank you. That's a wonderful, beautiful compliment to start the day with. I appreciate
Mhm.
it.
I mean that from
Yes,
my
it
heart.
is.
I don't mean I'm not talking. I don't talk out the side of my mouth. As
Right.
some people say I talk from my heart, and I really this
Mhm.
is really it is this year. The last 2 years have been very very rough, and since
Mhm.
I've been on here, my whole atmosphere, the mayor has changed. I even have noticed at church, and so I'm just I'm just letting you know that I really appreciate you,
Oh, well, thank you very much.
and I
Okay.
also want to let you know that that program with is a good program because I just finished mine.
What program is that?
They help they put you with a law firm and they do it pro bono and they do your will and your trust for you for free.
Oh, so you can talk about it then. Okay, you'll share that in a little while.
Yeah.
Once we
Okay.
get started, I'll ask you to share because it'll come
Okay.
to that where we need to learn from each
Oh,
other.
stop it.
Oh,
My cat just bit me.
uh-oh. Okay,
She
so
bit
good.
because I moved the cord from her face.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
so we're going to go right into, so I'm going to start off with wills today, and Alex will continue with trust on Monday. Okay.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
So again, I'm going to let everybody know that this program is for educational purposes. It does not take the place of legal advice. You are responsible for going to your lawyer, for letting him or her work with you to manage your legal needs. Okay, but this is just gonna, in speaking with most people, what I found out that there are
They
many.
don't know what to do.
Yes, exactly. So this is just to get you on board, to get you thinking. Okay. So if
That's
we
fine.
can, I'm not hearing any distraction. I'm hoping that all the TVs are off in the background and got your undivided attention. But it's saying a Gallup latest poll finds that slightly less than half of the US adults, 46%, have a will that describes how they would like their money and estate to be handled after their death. The results have been similar in 3 other readings in this question since 9. So nothing is changing. People are still not writing their wills. They said the issue of wills has been a topic in the news after the untimely death of the musician Prince. Anybody remember Prince?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Of course,
Yes,
And believe
by
it or
all
not, they're
means.
still trying to unwind that.
right. His sister filed court papers asserting that he did not have a will, and so far nobody has produced one. While most Americans are not as wealthy as Prince, his not having a will appears to be common in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know how many of you do or don't, but I'm hoping by next week, you'll begin thinking for those who have not so far. As might be expected, Americans age 65, this is our group, and older are the most likely subgroup to have a will. with just over 3/4 saying that they have one. So they're saying about 75% of those in our age group does have one. Each younger age group is significantly less likely to have a will than the previous one, including just 20% of adults under 30. Yeah, I would understand that though. You know, if you're under 30, are you thinking about a will?
You're not
Yeah.
thinking you're gonna die.
Right. So this is what I found online about those that have a will. It says, do you have a will that describes how you would like your money and estate to be handled after your death? And they're saying that of the 46% that they did the Gallup poll, that 65 and plus have a will. They have about 76%. Those between the age of 50 to 64, 53%, 30 to 49, 36%, and 18 to 29, 20%. Now, it does have a lot to do with the household income as well. They're saying that 61% of the household income that has 100,000 or more, these are six-figure incomes, are more likely to have a will. The range between 40,000 to 49% has the will, and under 40,000, smaller amount, only 30%. Now, it does say also it has to do with education. College graduates are more likely, 57%, to have a will. Not college graduates, 40%. Ethnicity plays a role also. White adults, 55%, and non-white adults, 28%. So this is our group at the bottom here. Only 28% are likely to have a will. All right, making a will is like giving one last gift to your family after you've gone. It offers clear guidance on what to do with your assets so that your family doesn't need to fight over everything in court. It may contain other important decisions too, like detailing your wishes for your funeral and appointing guardians for your children. Out of the 4 older adults age 65, again, don't have a will. If that's you, don't worry. Making a will is fairly straightforward, and taking time to write this estate planning document now can save your family from a whole lot of unnecessary stress in the future. So don't worry if you haven't at this point. We can get you started. At least I'm hoping that this class will get you started. All right, so what is a will? We'll take a good look how to make a will, what to do with it once you've written it, and some important resources that make writing a will a bit easier. So today we're going to look at what is a will, how to make a will, a step-by-step guide. What do you do after you've written your will? Do I need a lawyer to make a will? And resources for writing a will. All right, so a will, also known as a last will and testament, is a legal document that details your final wishes about everything from the guardians of your children to the bequeathment of family heirlooms. Creating a will is an important part of estate planning. If you don't create a will, a judge or state official will usually be in charge of your estate, which can lead to family conflict and prevents your final wishes from being carried out. A will is just one part of an estate plan, which can also include legal documents like trust, powers of attorney, and a living will. By the way, any of you have a living will?
Yes.
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
That's also very key, very important. That's another topic I'm going to cover, because every time you enter a hospital facility, one of the first things they ask you?
Do you want to
you
be
have-
resuscitated?
They want to know about your living will. Who's going to take charge of you while you're in there? Who's going to, should you
Right.
be resuscitated? All these different things have to fall into place when in these medical areas. All right, so now we're going to look at the step-by-step guide. All right, no two wills look the same. Consider your estate, savings, belonging, pets, and any other end-of-life wishes. Collect any paperwork you have, digital or actual paper, that contains information about your finances, including properties you own, life insurance policies, bank accounts, and retirement accounts. Common items to list in a will. All right, so let's go through what are some of, you may not have all of these, but you may have some of them, right? Real estate holdings, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash saving accounts, checking accounts, money market accounts, business assets and ownership, vehicles or boats, family heirlooms, other possessions. Okay, so here's some helpful tips here. You may not think you own anything valuable enough to include in a will, but odds are your loved ones would disagree. Try to think about which possessions your children, grandchildren, or other relatives would like to have. For example, if your daughter has always admired your wedding china, consider bequeathing it to her in your will. And yet, this is a good example of, you may not have thousands of dollars in a bank or a real estate property, but you've got little things that you've cherished in that apartment of yours or home that you would like to see, fairly given to those that you love. You don't want one person to come in and just grab everything, right?
Right.
You want to make sure if it's your granddaughter to
Put in
get
a
your
trash.
favorite whatever, or your wedding band, or whatever it is that you've cherished most of your life, you want to make sure it's going to someone who's going to carry on your legacy.
Yeah.
I was very near and dear to my aunt when she passed away at a young age of 54. And to this day, she's been gone for a while, but there's certain things I have in my household that every time I see it,
Mhm.
reminds me of her.
Mhm.
Exactly. So that's important. All right. So you need to decide where your belongings goes. You need to figure out who gets your stuff, your properties, your assets, pets. I know some of you have pets. Do you want your pet just going to a shelter? Or do you want a loved one to take your pet and care for that pet while you're gone? Do you want to leave your vacation home to your children? Do you have minor grandkids that you're probably taking care of, that you have custody of, who should care for if you pass away? Are you planning to donate a chunk of your estate to a nonprofit or volunteer? I know many sometimes leave part of their estate to their church, because the church family has been their support most of their, towards the end of their lives. How you divide everything is entirely to you. Many married people leave everything to their spouse. However, you should still choose alternate beneficiaries too. That way, your will is still relevant even if your spouse passes away before you. And remember, the more specific you are, the less guessing your executive needs to do.
Bless you.
Not to mention less bickering among family members. Now, we all know about that, right? Loved one passed
Yeah.
away, and there's a lot of bickering going on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Lots and lots of it. Not
Mhm.
expecting it, but it happens.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Strange.
So be more specific. Even those photographs you've collected for years, you want to be specific who are going to get those photographs. Executor. Okay, so how do you choose your executor? To execute your will. They make sure that what you want to happen with your assets and last wishes actually happens. Executors make sure your son Bobby gets the family train set he adores, that your sister received your beloved Pooch, that's your pet. An executor's responsibilities may include offering the will for probate, the legal process of reviewing the will, administering the estate, and paying off the deceased person's debt and taxes using the estate funds. So an executor only comes into play once someone has passed away. They're in charge of handling estate and the probate process. An executor is assigned through a testator's will. They usually stop working with the beneficiaries after the assets have been successfully distributed. Okay, so do you know that around 80% of people choose a family member as executor as for their will? Yes,
Yes.
they do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so how do you really select this executor? They're saying you must do it wisely. It may be an adult, child, a close friend, or an attorney. Whoever is the person is, make sure they're what?
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy,
Yes.
ethical, and willing to
Mhm. Willing
take
to
on the
take on it.
responsibility. They've got to be ethical.
Mhm.
Yep. So
Yep.
you got to look at all that. We spoke, so they're saying that they spoke to Jim Revels, a CPA member of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, Personal
Mhm.
Financial Planning Executive Committee, who says it's best if the person lives nearby, can be assertive, and is financially responsible. If you choose an attorney, they're typically paid using funds from your estate. If you choose an attorney. Choose guardians for if you have like grandkids that you are responsible for, because I know some grandmothers are still, raising their grandkids.
Mhm.
You may have minors. I don't know if any of you do, but make sure that they're, included. Be sure to talk to the person or couple before naming them in your will. All right, so here's a tip, food for thought. Consider leaving financial support for the guardian of, if you've got grandkids, while not required. It is thoughtful, it's a thoughtful way to continue supporting your children or grandchildren and caretakers after their passing. All right, so now we're at the point where you're going to now preparing to write that will. There are a few things to do. You can hire a lawyer. Attorney can draft your will for you. This is the best choice if you want personalized legal advice and you have the spare cash to pay. So Jim Revels, who's also a CPA, he recommends that you don't use just any attorney. Instead, he advises use an attorney that specializes in trust and estates and is licensed in seniors resident states. So must be licensed in Washington, D.C. Okay, who if you select to go with an attorney. Attorneys typically charge anywhere from $300 to $1,000 or more for a will. You can also find online alternatives that are more affordable. Check out our trust. So this is where I got to review. So we're going to ask Ann Dennis in a little while to talk about how she got hers done for free, right, Ann?
Yes, I'm willing to do that.
Okay, so there's it. This says write a will. Okay, when you make what is called a DIY, do it yourself, you can have that's if you have a simple estate. You can write your will using online templates, software, or website services, which is what I did. I did mine do it yourself using a template from online. It's sufficient coverage for most people. If you have that's if you have uncomplicated estate, and most Americans do.
Yeah.
Do it yourself will and can function as your last will and testament. A DIY will that's signed and witnessed is as valid as one prepared by a lawyer. So you don't have to go to a lawyer.
Right.
Just using a template getting a witness, 2 witnesses. That's all.
Oh,
That's all you need.
okay.
That's how
did-
I did mine.
That's the way I did mine.
Okay, so we've got a few examples. Okay, so a Washington DC last will and testimony is a legal document that allows a testator, the creator of the will, to outline how they would like their affairs to be managed after death. A will enables a testator to name a guardian to care for, and that's if you have grandkids, to bequeath property and to name someone they trust to manage the settling of affairs. If a testator dies in the District of Columbia without leaving a last will and testimony, the courts will distribute any property to their closest surviving relatives, starting with their spouse and children. If no relatives can be located, the state will take ownership of any property.
That's probate.
Yep.
Yep.
They're good for that.
So there's a form, and this is a form. I took a screenshot of it, and I can actually go and bring it up later on if we have time, of how this form looks. It's called the Last Will and Testament, and that's the DC one I'm talking about. It's called a statutory form. Some states offer standardized statutory forms before going this route. So you might want to look to get the standardized one for DC if you decide to go this route. All right, you must sign and date your will in front of at least 2 witnesses. The witnesses cannot be listed as beneficiaries, okay? Cannot be
Mhm.
listed as beneficiaries in your will.
Yeah, 'cause
Also,
they might
keep in
kill you.
mind, they can't be around your age either. They must be
Mhm.
removed at least a generation or 2.
Oh, my.
Yeah, because you don't want somebody your age.
It's-
Because they're more likely to go out before you will.
Thank you.
So you want to look, to someone maybe 20 years or so younger, if it's possible. If you want your will to get through probate more easily, you'll also want to include a self-proving affidavit with your document. This is a notarized document that you and your witnesses sign to show that you are the ones who signed and witnessed the original will. So they're saying, best bet, have it notarized. All right, and it costs a few dollars to get documents notarized these days. I think it's like under $10, right?
It is.
It's not that much.
Some
Mhm.
of them are 20, 25. It all depends.
Oh,
Really?
Mhm.
No, I got it
I
done
go to
for
my
that.
bank, they were doing them for free for
free.
me.
Yep.
Yeah,
If you got a
the
bank, yeah.
DC government is requiring it to be a person who has a what
Notary
is it
like
called? Yeah, a license.
Okay.
To
Yeah, on the
a
notary, it has to be like.
notary. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
they
what-
charge
But
what
they
they
really
want.
gone up there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But so is everything else.
Hey,
Right. So what do you do after you've written the will? You've written it, let's find out what happens next. After you've written your will, you will need to find a secure yet accessible spot to keep the original. Some places to keep it could include, you can file with a probate court, right?
mhm.
They're saying if you can find out if your state lets you find your will with a probate court. If they do, this is the safest storage option. Your attorney or loved ones can easily retrieve it from the court. You can file it. If you have an attorney do it, you can have the attorney file it, keep it there at his office or wherever. If it's one of those that you did do it yourself, you could store your will in a waterproof, fireproof box, pouch, or folder. Make sure that your lawyer and or your executor knows where your will is kept. Store it with other important legacy documents like tax returns, estate plans, insurance policies, and passwords. You can also give it to give copies of it to the executor as well. Anything happens, they have a copy as well. You want to make several copies of it. You put one safely in a safe in your home if you have a safe, and 1 copy with the executor or your loved ones, whoever it is that you know you're closest to. It really, who should get copies? So let's find out. There's no right or wrong answer here. Some people choose to give everyone affected a copy of the will immediately after finalizing it. This gives beneficiaries a chance to ask questions and understand their roles. Others choose not to hand out copies to anyone. And the more people do the latter than the first part.
Yeah.
Whichever approach you, it's a good idea to make copies of your will in case the original one gets misplaced or destroyed and you need to remake it. So it's up to you if you want to give copies of it to those. And if you have like loved ones who are going to question you and, you know, you might not feel comfortable doing that. So you know what to do. So how often do you revisit your will? Okay, they're saying, they recommend that you should revisit your will every 3 to 5 years after a significant change in circumstances. So let's look at those circumstances. These can include changes in the law, new grandchild, financial setback, influx of wealth. Well, isn't that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not really gonna happen.
Well, you never know. You might win the
That's true.
lottery. You might win the lottery one day. I'm sure a few of you played a lotto.
Yeah, we do, but.
There you go.
All right.
Change in your relationship status, like marriage, divorce, or breakup. Losing a spouse, losing a child, poor health, creation of a trust. And you'll be looking at trust on Monday. The sale of a business. So you've had a will and you suddenly decide to sell the business or the home, then your will must be modified. Okay. Tip, remember that your will is just yours. Don't let anyone pressure you into making changes to your will that you are not comfortable with. Okay. That's your thing.
Okay.
Your last, they say, will and testimony. Okay, now, do you really need a lawyer to make this will? You don't have
No.
to use
No.
a lawyer to make a will. A will written without the help of a lawyer can still be legal. Okay? You just need to make sure that you're following any relevant laws in your state. For example, most states require 2 witnesses to be present when you sign, and I think DC is requiring that.
Yes.
That being said,
Yeah.
using a lawyer does have its benefits. A lawyer will ensure that your will complies with all state laws so that it holds up in court. Using a lawyer is a wise choice for seniors with large or complex estates with a lot of assets. It is also a good idea if your will includes naming guardians for if you have minor grandchildren. Of course, using a lawyer comes with a cost. It can cost anywhere from, again, a few $100 to $1,000 to hire a lawyer for a will preparation. Seniors on a limited budget may be better off writing a will themselves with the help of templates or online will writing software. All right. So what I did find on the web are some resources that you can look to. If you choose to do it yourself, okay, well, you're not totally on your own. Check out some of the curated lists of services and companies that help seniors write their own wills online. So let's look at some of them. So there's this, it's called a Quicken Will Maker and Trust. It's a downloadable software that helps you create your last will and testimony along with other estate planning documents. You can revise and update your will at any time too. The price ranges from $89 for the starter software to $199 for the all access software. Okay. Then there's Fabric. It's a free online will tool. This service is a great for frugal seniors who have basic estates and a simple family situation. You'll answer a few questions, print out the will, and then sign it.
Mhm.
It's free.
I'll take that one.
Okay, then there's Legal Zoom, that offers online tools and virtual attorney consultation to help you create a last will and testament in as little as 15 minutes. Creating a state-specific will use LegalZoom's online step-by-step guide starts at $89. For just $10 more, you can access LegalZoom's network of attorney and ask questions about your will for 2 weeks. So then there's Rocket Lawyer. This guides you through the will making process by having your answer questions about your wishes. It then generates a will that reflects your answers that you can purchase for $39. Before beginning the process, you choose which state you reside in, and this helps to ensure that the will follows the state laws. Free will. If you're on the fence about hiring a lawyer, free will is a good place to start. As you go through the free will writing process, you may realize that your estate or family situation is more complicated than thought. In that case, you can still fill out free forms on Free Will's site and then take them to your attorney. This can save you a lot of money if your lawyer charges per hour. Then there's Gentrel. Offers fully customizable estate planning services right from your computer. The website walks you through creating a will, living trust, healthcare proxy, power of attorney, and pet documents. And you can choose who has access to everything. Membership prices start at $100 for the first year, then drops to $50 every following year. I don't know if you want to go, they're paying out $50 for the. Okay, so now we're going to look at some of the frequently asked questions about making a will. Is it legal to write your own will? What do you all say?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
you just learned that, right? Yes, it's legal to write your own will as long as you abide by the state laws. Laws and requirements will vary by state, but generally a will needs to be printed or typed and signed by the person who wrote the will and 2 witnesses. And here I found this online. How much does it cost to make a will? They said it ranges from no cost to thousands of dollars. The price will depend on the complexity of your estate and whether you choose to use a free online template, paid online service, or hire an attorney. Does my spouse need a separate will? That's a very good question for those of you who still have spouses. In most circumstances, yes. Some states do recognize joint wills, but separate wills are nearly always recommended by estate planners. Where can I get help drafting a will for free? Some will-making website, nonprofits, programs, and law firms help seniors write wills for free. Search online for free or pro bono will writing in your area. What happens if I die without a will? Okay,
State takes everything you own.
well, let's find out. If you die without a valid will, you become what is called intestate.
Intestate.
That usually means that your estate will be settled based on the laws of your state that outline who inherits what.
Mhm.
Probate is the legal process of transferring property of deceased persons to the rightful heirs.
Cross the line.
Since no executor executor was named, a judge appoints an administrator to serve in that capacity. An administrator also will be named if a will is deemed to be invalid. All wills must meet certain standards, such as being witnessed to be legally valid. Again, requirements vary from state to state. So what is an administrator? An administrator will most likely be a stranger to you and your family, and he or she will be bound by the letter of probate laws to your state. As such, an administrator may make decisions that wouldn't necessarily agree with your wishes or those of your heirs. Okay, I see some hands were raised. So we'll answer those in a little while. We're almost at the end. Who should act as a witness to your will? Okay, let's find out. Any person can act as a witness to your will, but you should select someone who isn't a beneficiary.
Mhm.
Otherwise, there's the potential for conflict of interest.
Amen.
The technical term is disinterested witness. Some states require 2 or more witnesses. If a lawyer drafts your will, he or she shouldn't serve as a witness. Not all states require a will to be notarized, but some do. Check. You may also want to have your witnesses sign what's called a self-proving affidavit in the presence of a notary. This affidavit can speed up the probate process because your witnesses likely wouldn't be called into court by a judge to validate their signatures and the authenticity of the will. So they're suggesting notarizing is the best. All right, so how do you choose your executor?
You don't.
All right, contesting a will refers to challenging the legal validity of all or part of the document. A beneficiary who feels slighted by the terms of a will might choose to contest it. Depending on which state you live in, so too might a spouse or ex-spouse or child who believes your stated wishes go against local probate laws. Like maybe, I guess, leaving your carer. Something like, some people feel that their carer have been around longer, someone who's been by their bedside, and then family who haven't been around shows up, at the end. A will can be contested by any number of other reasons. It wasn't properly witnessed. You weren't competent when you signed it, or it's the result of coercion or fraud, which is what the letter is the one that it's usually up to a probate judge to settle the dispute. The key to successfully contesting a will is finding the legitimate legal fault with it. A clearly drafted and validly executed will is the best defense. So that brings us to the end of the will section, and Alex Bell is going to continue on with the trust on Monday, okay? We'll talk about the difference about what the trust is and who should really have a trust versus just a will. Okay, so I'm going to now look at our participants who've raised their hands, and I looked at this. Let's see, I have to now look to see who've raised their hands. And also look at some of the chat in the chat box. So first, and before we even move into that topic, I'm going to ask Ann Dennis to talk about what she did. Is it recently, Ann?
Yes.
So go ahead and share with us.
Okay. ARP is offering service where they put you with a firm that will help you put your will together. And I found out how much things can go in a will and things that you want to go your way. they put me with a law firm and a nice lady lawyer. The office is downtown. They found,
I forgot to call her.
and they do different versions of wills, like Miss Teresa was telling us. But I found out that I had a will a long time ago, and when I looked at the will, I realized that everybody on that will is now dead, and my son is grown, so he doesn't need a guardian, and my life has changed a great deal. So that was the reason why I looked into it. And the lawyer that was helping from legal counsel for the elderly that was helping me with a situation said to me, asked me that was I interested in making a will, and I said yes, but I don't have that kind of money. And she told me that ARP has a program to help. And so when I got to talking to the lady, I found out about how much information was really needed. Even though I only have one legal biological child, I have 2 other people that do not wish have jobs and stuff, and have stated they do not wish to have anything in the will except one of them wants rosary beads, and the other one wanted a picture that my grandmother embroidered of Jesus. And so I figured that that was kind of a simple thing to do. But knowing my son, I did not want these items to wind up at the trash can. So he is not a sentimental person, but I have godchildren who love things in my house. And I found out that my granddaughter wanted my doll collection, and she wanted, and then my goddaughter wanted a Pacific doll. So I said, okay. So then when the lady explained things to me, I found out that yes, I want to be buried in the cemetery, Lincoln Memorial Cemetery, in a family plot. There are 4 graves there, and there are 2 spots now because they're burying people on top of one another. So I needed to discuss that with my son. Do you want that grave site? Or if I give it to you, will you not put somebody that I hate on top of me? If I go before, I want to be buried in purple. There was just a lot of little things that were personal to me that you may not think about. And there are antiques in this house that are over almost 200 years old. 2 vases that belong to my grandmother that came from her great grandmother. And so that's, my grandmother would be like almost 140 years old. So that if they came from her great grandmother, they got to be 200 years old. Things that you might just a little token that you might want to give to a friend, a pair of earrings that they admired, that's what that you would like to them to have to remember you, different things. So it's and the medical thing was the main thing as to how you want to be handled if you become incompetent. To receive medicine to keep you comfortable. Do you want to be given medicine that's going to help you stay here a little longer, or do you want to be given just the amount of medicine that's legal, just to keep you comfortable and let you fade? Because sometimes it takes people a long time to fade away. And so I found out it was very, very enlightening. And you can talk to them, and it doesn't mean that you have to go with that lawyer, but it gives you a basis of things that you need to include.
So did you pay for this lawyer?
No, it's free. They give you to a law firm, and they do a bono.
Pro bono, got it.
Pro bono, yes. Hmm.
Mm.
And I found it, I don't have a lot, but my
Mhm.
house, my mother worked hard for it. I wanted to stay in the family, and I made it clear in my will that my son is to do all impossible things, all impossible things to keep it in the family.
Mhm.
And he can rent it out, but the money should go into a fund to keep up the house repairs and to be divided among the grandchildren.
Mhm.
Well,
Okay, well,
so-
thank you very much, Anne, for sharing that.
And
We're now
thank you for giving me the opportunity to, Miss
Right,
Jane.
we're now
I
gonna go with
appreciate
the
you.
hands raised. We'll start with Carolyn Lawson. Go ahead and unmute Carolyn.
Yes. I was wondering if anyone knows the answer to this question. It's for my sister. She lives out of town. But her husband died in 2017. And he had 2 sons from a previous marriage, and they have 1 son. His ex-wife remarried, he remarried. So when he died, they decided to put down all 3 children for the house and the money. Well, subsequent to that, my sister, who took care of him for 17 years after the stroke, neglected herself. So her health began to fail after he passed, grief and things like that. So she was in the hospital weighing 82 pounds, almost died a couple of years ago. Then this past year, she was in the hospital weighing 77 pounds, almost died because she just wouldn't eat. And so I was telling her that since her son was laid off on his job when she was in the hospital, and now he's her sole caregiver, has to do everything, have to go to the bathroom, cook, clean, wash, everything, that she should put his name down for the house. And then the other 2 sons, with the money and everything. And I was wondering, does anyone know whether you can change a will like that? Because the husband has subsequently died. The circumstances have changed drastically. I mean, she can't live alone.
Change.
Yes, you can
Is-
change your will.
Yeah.
Depends on who wrote the will.
Is,
If she
Okay.
if she's the sole beneficiary to his will,
Yes,
okay, then she can change the will.
okay. Because they had, legal, they have a financial advisor for their stocks and all that kind of stuff. And so it was done legally. But I keep telling her, you should change that because this is the child that's doing all the work. The
Right.
others don't even live
Right.
there.
You know
Right.
what they can do to circumvent a lot of that? If the house is in her name, and that was her main concern, if the house is in her name, she can add the child's name to the deed of the house.
Uh-huh.
So that
Okay.
once the person passes,
Uh-huh.
probate can't touch the house.
Yep,
That's true.
that's
so
true.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
change
True.
the house. And also, if there are any minors involved, if she's responsible for any minors, she should talk to the parent of the minor and try to get legal guardianship over the minor.
But there are no
Because
minors. My only
Okay.
concern is of the 2 stepsons, one took care of his mother, did everything in another state. The other one didn't contribute at all. And he's the kind that's good to go get a lawyer and claim stuff. So
Yeah,
that was my concern for them.
if
But
she
there are no
goes
minor
now,
children.
if she changes the deed name on the house now while she's of sound mind,
Right. Yeah.
then they cannot protest
Okay, I'll
gets
tell her that.
after
she needs to do
after
that.
she passes. Because
And
the
she
house
needs to
will
do that ASAP.
automatically, the house will automatically go to him automatically without probate.
Okay.
And she needs to do
okay.
that ASAP.
She has to do it ASAP before she gets too incapacitated or
Right.
mentally incumbent. So
Well,
that she
I've been telling her that because like I tell her and my nephew, he's my concern. I love him. I don't want him to get tangled in one of these fighting things in court or
That's what's gonna happen.
and she
And,
can also put his names on any of her bank accounts, and it's called in trust of.
Right, well, which is what you'll learn next week,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
the trust part.
you
okay.
can put their name on your account. Because when my mom died,
I was the person that she put in trust stuff, and I didn't have to even show that to probate.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
didn't have
good.
to show it. The judge told me that he's not going to look at that because I am the sole heir of the bank accounts. She did that. And it
Now,
was
I'm
in
not concerned about the bank accounts, but the house, since my nephew is now 58, hasn't been able to go back to work. And it's
Yeah, they
mainly the
need,
house, because the
Yeah,
house
but
is a
she
place
also,
you stay that's paid for.
yeah, they need to
okay,
do that right away.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
she's a
thank you
good
all
right
very, very
away.
much.
Thank you,
Really
Carolyn,
good.
and thank you, Bridget, and
You're
is it
welcome.
here for answering that? The next person we're gonna look at is Patricia Lewis. Go ahead, Patricia. Unmute yourself and ask your
Yes,
question. or
yes,
comment.
ma'am. I listened to Miss Dennis and got some very good information, but these are a couple of questions that I have.
Mhm.
Do all wills have to go through probate?
No.
No. Because anything that I have, I'm a divorced woman. I have no children. Currently, I live with my sister and her family. And what I've done is any monies that I have put my 2 nieces on as beneficiaries. And my mother just passed back in September. And anything that I received from her, I'm leaving that to my 2 grand nieces as beneficiaries. So if I'm doing it this way, is it really necessary for me to have a will?
Well, based on what I gathered in my research for the District of Columbia, they're saying if it's notarized,
Okay.
it's most unlikely to go through probate. But if
Okay.
it's just witnessed, because they can't verify the witness's signature, then a judge has to step in, which is probate.
Okay. Okay.
But you want to check again. What my goal is I'm trying to get AARP on board, and as soon as I can get their attention, they're difficult to get on board. But I've been now given a contact person. I'm going to try to get AARP on board to talk about their services, what they can do for seniors. Okay.
Okay. My next question is regarding the living will. That is, if I were to go in the hospital, I've already given my niece, who I live with, she and her mother, I've given my niece what I want to happen. If I cannot be guaranteed a life every 2 months, then just tell them don't resuscitate, don't do anything like that. Just let me go on.
And that's a living will.
That's all a living will is?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
My
stated in a
next-
living will.
And be sure that your doctor, your primary
That's a
doctor
copy.
has a copy of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Very
living
good
will.
advice.
Okay.
Ann.
Primary.
Very good advice. Your
I'm
provider.
telling you, you really need to do that. I just went through that crap. I'm going through it this week. I'm telling you, honey, cover your behind at all times, okay?
Okay. And my last question is the template that we saw early on in the presentation. Which site would I go to get a copy of that?
All right, so I can do it, but I want to, let me get through the questions and then we're gonna go look.
Okay,
Everybody
very
can
good.
see, okay?
Okay, very
Let me
good.
just get through the questions and then I'll go there, okay?
All righty. That was
So
my
hold the
last
fort,
question.
Patricia. All
Okay.
right, we'll look at those templates. All right, Diane, unmute. Go ahead, unmute and ask your question. Diane Leach? Yep,
I'm
go
here.
ahead, Diane.
I'm here. All I have is a son. So
You have your TV on, Diane, because I'm hearing it in the
I
background.
didn't realize it was on.
Okay.
All I have is a son.
Mhm.
So if and I want to leave it to my son. Suppose my son precedes me in death
Mhm.
and I'm sick.
Mhm.
What do I do?
That needs to be in that will.
Yeah, you need
It
that.
needs to be in the
Okay.
You
will,
need
who
a
will be.
backup person.
Yes, you have to state
Okay,
who's
and these,
preceding who.
okay, these are a few things I think you all should know. That if you divorce, you should change your will, because if you divorced 25 years ago, not divorced, if you still married but separated 25 years ago and died, your husband still can come and take care of everything.
Oh,
That's
Mhm.
yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard of that.
Okay, so you
True.
have to, and even your retirement,
Yeah.
you have to change
Right.
your retirement once you separate,
Yes.
you know.
That's a
So,
good, that's a good point, Diane.
okay.
It-
And my other question is, my son has sisters and brothers that are not my children.
Mhm.
Okay, I how do I say? I know what I want to say.
You don't want them to get anything?
No, so I
Okay.
have to put that in the will too.
You it make
Absolutely.
him
Just put him
that's
as the
right.
sole,
Sole,
SOL
sole
inheritor. That's
beneficiary.
all. That's all. He's so.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
Sole beneficiary.
Yeah.
He's the only person that
That
will benefit
only.
from your death,
Oh, okay.
unless
Okay.
you name someone else. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
So make
I
sure you
got
do
it.
that, Diane.
Yes.
I will. I will. Thank you.
And don't take long in doing it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
Hey, y'all,
Thank
I
you.
ain't, and wait a minute, I got till I'm 94. My sister already prayed for that. I gotta get y'all to laugh at something.
Okay.
You're
Got it,
a sweetheart,
Diane?
Diane.
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your questions and concerns.
Okay.
All right, Carolyn Underwood, go ahead and unmute.
Okay, Ms. James, a wonderful presentation. I thank you for it. The question that I have is, I need to see the site for the freebie. I mean, I'm frugal to a certain degree, but when it comes to money and I don't have to spend a lot of it, I'm interested in that.
Okay, so
Thank
am
you so much.
I still sharing the screen?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
I can go
Mhm.
back. Okay, yeah. Let's see if we can find the free. There are templates, and I need to go anyway there because of Patricia's question. Let's see, frequently, we need to go back. Free will. If you're on the fence about hiring a free will, good place to start. The free whiting process.
I
Site.
use that.
Yeah, free will. All right, I'm going to stop. I'm going to now come out of here and I'm going to go now to some websites about free will writing for the District of Columbia. Okay.
Okay.
That way everyone can, so let me exit this. I'm now going to pull up a browser. The first one we're going to look at is that free will. Here it comes, free will.
Very detailed.
Well, I mean, one District of Columbia. Because you want it in your state.
Right.
But I also know that the DC Council will do it for you as well, but that has to do with income, your income. So let's look at some for the District of Columbia. Free will, print and free. That's the Rocket Lawyer that we saw earlier, but let's look. Free will done in 5 minutes, that's an ad. So we need to stay away from those ads because we know there's more to it than just that. Filing a will in the district, free will, free Washington, that's the Rocket Lawyer again, free district willing download. So this might be something, I don't know why.
That's Rocket too.
That's the Rocket, right? Legal Forms Columbia free
From the
will.
library.
Okay, let's go here.
Someone said library.
So free Washington, DC, last will and testimony. What state do we live in? So we're going to go to the District of Columbia and we're going to go next. So here it is here. You're in who is the last will be created for, and I guess this is where they take you step by step. Let me just, I don't really want to enter information in here.
Do skip this step for now.
Yeah, all right, let's go ahead and skip it for now. See where it's taking us.
But we know what direction to go in to start
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
executor, who will be in
Detail.
charge of. So these are
Detail.
steps that you have to fill out. Right.
Go to skip this step for now so we can see.
Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right. Let me wait till it comes up. This computer's on the slow side, so all right, let's skip these steps for now.
And they get an alternate personal representative.
Yeah,
Then-
you're supposed to have an alternate as well.
Mm-hmm.
And always remember that the AARP thing is free too.
Yeah. You want me to look, you want me to do a search on that? I can do that so they could see where to start with AARP. See, this is where, as you can see, Bridget, it just keeps going.
They don't
Yeah,
let you.
'cause they're
Yeah.
gonna ask you all the questions and
Yeah,
try to cover
Mhm.
everything that you need to do.
Yes,
Right.
very
You
detailed.
guys know that you can also go to Office Depot. They have the
yep.
forms that you can look at and
So-
do it there too.
Any of you members of AARP?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you
Well,
don't
then
have
that's
to
where
be.
you, let's put in wills.
Well,
That's
could you
like
give us the
Ann did.
number?
Okay,
And
so
you have some numbers?
Wait
hold
a
on.
minute.
So I've now looked up, let's go for the AARP website, AARP, to write a will online that is quick, cheap, and legal, AARP. Create your
There's
own
one
will
at
through
100%.
AARP. Here's one right here with the AARP.
Yes. Mhm.
Create your own well.
Message from the
Okay. Nonprofit AARP, do you have a well? And let's see what it is saying here. Okay,
Those ones are so small.
legal AARP, Council for the Elderly, Washington. Okay,
Yeah,
Legal
can
Counsel
start
for the
there.
Elderly. Let's go
Mhm.
here. District of Columbia. We're going here. So this is probably where you need to start, right here.
Right.
This is the AARP, Legal for the Council,
let's see where that.
right? Providing free tax assistance and preparation as well as will. All right, so I think it was Patricia, we can look at the templates, but Carol, here's your website that you wanted.
Thank you so much.
So you want to just put in your Google search, AARP Washington DC, and put in there senior as your keyword, and you'll get to this website. Okay,
I appreciate it.
you're
This-
welcome. Now
this
let's
is-
look at some of the free templates now, that if you wanted to do it yourself. DIY templates, will templates. And we want District of Columbia, free. So let's go look here. Washington DC Laws will download a free Washington Last Will and Test template. Here's one. Download, here it is. Patricia, are you seeing? Are you still there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I
Okay,
am.
so this is here's one of them where you can download the free template.
Okay.
Yeah. And this, what did I do? As you could see, you can actually, hold on,
Truly will.
trulywill.com, yeah,
Okay.
in your search. Fill out and validate for state law. And this is all for the District of Columbia, because you gotta go, you
Okay.
have to stick with your state.
Okay. Okay.
All right, any
And I
other
thank-
questions?
I thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions, or do you want me to look for anything else while I'm here online? Anybody?
I just put the number in the chat for one of the numbers to reach AARP.
Did you all see that? Did you hear what she said?
Yes.
I don't
She
see
placed the
it.
number in the chat.
No, I don't either.
Because
I don't
Brenda,
see it.
Brenda, you wanted, are there any numbers we
Wait a
may
No.
minute.
have to get started with AARP?
Okay, let me try again.
Nothing in the chat.
Or if
Okay.
you want, you can tell it to me and I can enter it.
Okay,
Does
I
that-
just, I did it again, but here's, wait a minute.
You did it
202.
Okay, hold on,
434.
hold on, let me, all right, so, wait, let me make sure I'm directing it to everyone in the meeting. All right, 202
434
434
2120.
2120. Anybody that you remember that you began with, when you started your process?
You go to the intake desk. And the
Intake, let me
intake,
type,
mhm,
intake desk,
desk.
writing this in the chat.
And then you tell them what you want, what you need. Like if you're looking for the H tax, H credits, like for your home or renting, you can apply for that if you've got over a certain age and you own a home or you're renting, you can get an H tax. So you can call and get information on that. And you can tell them you're looking for the will. Or
Okay.
you need a legal counsel for something else. And they will tell you, they will take your name and direct your name to where it needs to go.
All right, so I'm sending this information right now, what you just said. Tell them that what you want, for example, a will, call that number.
Yes.
Okay,
Got it.
got it. Okay, so we've
And
come
if
to,
that's not the right number, they'll get, because they change numbers frequently, change things.
they do, huh?
Yeah, so you have to keep up.
Yep. Anyway, I'm
What was that number again? What was the number again to AARP?
202
Uh-huh,
434
uh-huh.
2120.
2120.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you.
You're
And that
welcome,
was
Georgia.
AARP.
Yep, AARP.
RP.
Thank you.
All right, anything else?
No, what happened to
Ms.
mine was in here.
Well, I
That's
just
it?
called and it said it was the legal counsel for the elderly. So you just go through the steps with them.
Yeah, go
Thank you,
ask them,
Brenda.
and they'll give you the number to go to.
Yeah, I just
will
called
help
them.
too. Okay.
Thank you, Brenda.
Sure.
Okay, anything else? All right, so I'm gonna now take a break and get ready for my afternoon session. Thank you for your active participation, and thank you to Anne for sharing her, giving
Yeah.
us this
Thank you.
very good information. At least you'll
Thank
get
you
some of
both.
us started, right? Even
Yes,
if one
definitely.
person gets started, that it still helps, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, my
Yeah.
dear. God bless all of you, and I'll see you later.
God bless you,
Bye.
Teresa.
All right.
And God bless everybody on there. I love you.
God bless you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye, George.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Jackie. Matilda and Mary and,
Bye-bye.
yep, Violet and Ruby and
Yeah.
all those names.
Yeah.
See y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.